Long distance relationship has taught me a lot. Long distance relationship has taught me so many things I never knew about myself. It has also surprised me in many ways. First of all, before I start this video, I would like to ask you a question. Do you think long distance relationship works? Well, let me know your views in the comment section. Guys, in this video, I'm going to tell you guys what I wish I knew before I started a long distance relationship. Welcome to today's video. If you're here for the first time, kindly click on the subscribe button, and if you're a returning subscriber, thank you for coming. I really appreciate you. For the newcomers, I thank you so much for stopping by today. Let me go into the video. So here are some of the things I wish I knew before starting a long distance relationship. Point number one is data consumption. Guys, if you're in this part of the world in Nigeria, you know that data, having an internet is very expensive and it consumes. I'm talking about, yeah, it might not be expensive. It might not be expensive when you're not making constant video calls, but when you're constantly FaceTiming, making video calls every time, trust me, it drains data. So yes, I wasn't prepared. If I tell you guys how much we have spent so far, I personally, because I don't know about Swavik, I think, but if I tell you how much I have spent personally on talking with Swavik over the phone, on video calls, on audio calls, you will be shocked. Unfortunately, I cannot keep count, but it's a lot. It consumes data. You just keep on asking yourself. But thankfully, I have Swavik who helps me out most of the time. So yeah, it doesn't really affect me that much, but I'm still surprised at how much I get to spend to be in a long distance relationship. The very next point I have is the process of meeting. Let me quickly say this, guys. If there's anything at all, maybe your passport, maybe your ID card, those of you that are in Nigeria, maybe your NIN, if there's anything at all that say everybody should have, please have it. Even if you don't need it, please make it happen. Yes, have it. Have your NIN, have your passport, have your national ID card, anything important documents you know that you might need in future, even if you've not found your partner yet, but you must have this thing, because for those of us that are in Nigeria, we know that getting these things, it's supposed to be easy, but it's not easy. It takes so long, really. The next point I have is that long distance relationship is very expensive. Yes, it's very expensive. So this is why it's not advisable for someone who do not have enough money to go into long distance relationship, because it's expensive, really. Sometimes, yeah, it might not be that expensive to us, but me, sometimes when I see, when you see the amount of money your man is spending, if you're a good person, you'll be like, oh god, he's spending this much, so yes, it's very expensive. Yeah, the man might not complain, but just to let you all know that it's very expensive. I didn't expect it to be that expensive, but yeah, it is what it is. It's very expensive, so it is advisable to check your pockets, make your inquiries before you go into long distance relationship in terms of the financial aspect of it. For us, it's not really like, it's not for us, it's not really a problem. The next point I have is documentation. It is really vast. Like, the documents expected lot, and you have to get them ready. From us, it's not really about Suavec. This time is about me, because there are a couple of documents I never considered getting, I never considered getting, which is why I mentioned earlier that if there's anything at all you're meant to get, whether it's international passport, whether it's your NIN, whether it's any official document, whether you want to use it then or not, just get it. Some of my things I did not get them, some of my documents I did not get them, so when I wanted to use them, it took a long while really to be able to get them. Yeah, so any documents you're meant to get, try and get it down. Really, the documentation process is already long, so it will be too long if you don't have your own document and you have to go and apply for it afresh. You're just adding to the load you guys have to carry. So I didn't expect this was like, I didn't expect the process to be long, like that. But yeah, I was surprised. The next point I have is that long distance relationship is difficult to maintain. Thankfully, I do not have a partner who has to sit down and think, oh, what will I do to make her happy? What do I do to make her happy? What will I say? He already knows how he acts spontaneously. Even the things that he does not see it as being funny, it is funny to me, and vice versa. So yeah, it's difficult to maintain. You must put in the work. Sometimes you have to put in the work. You have to be there for your partner. There are sometimes when, because that one especially for how I want it, because Suavec sleeps early because he has to go to work, obviously. But me, when I'm out all day, like not really all day, but if I'm out and it's evening and I know that we like to talk, we like to tell each other good night when we are both in bed. So I would want to rush to go home, so that I see him and I tell him good night, I'll go to bed. So yeah, you have to put in a lot of work. I never knew I had to put in that kind of work in a long distance relationship. Another situation is one in which you have to put him in everything you have to do. I tell him the things I'm doing, he does the same. Like, I never knew that someone I know thousands of miles away will become this important to me. Before I do anything, I let him know. Anything that happens in my life, he is the first person I tell. We become like best friends, that even if we don't have much to say, we still enjoy each other's company, whether it's silent or not. We have everything to talk about. We talk about everything. So I never knew that I would have this type of bond with someone. The other day, Suavec was like, could you imagine how it would be if we go a day without talking? I was like, we now told ourselves it's not possible. Because this is my best friend, so we have to always talk. The next point I have is that there are days you just wake up. I'll just wake up and like, who even sent me this long distance thing? Most of the times I have that feeling is because of the process of closing the distance, because the documentation is too much. Sometimes things tend to move too slow and you're so angry and you don't know what to do. Maybe you just cry. Sometimes I'll tell someone, me, I'm tired. Most of the times I'm joking, why should I be tired? And he will tell me, how can you be tired? You told me the other person waited for 3 years. The other person waited for 4 years. You how many months now? I just want to hear what he has to say, not like tired for what, So yeah, there are some days you just wake up and feel like that. So I never expected I would be in a situation like that. Next point I have is communication problem. As you all know, that sometimes Suavec's English, especially when we met initially, God, there were times when we would we would not understand each other. So sometimes if we're on video call and I tell him something he doesn't understand, I have to minimize the call and write for him, because that way he'll be able to take it to Google and translate. So yeah, that's another thing I never knew I would do. You're talking to someone and then you have to minimize to talk to the same person here. So I never knew this would happen. I never knew that someone I met across the globe would be this important to me. Like I said earlier, I cannot go a day without talking to Swavek. It's not possible. So sometimes we can talk like 5 times, 6 times in a day, and I never knew that he would become this important to me, especially when we first met. I never knew he would become this important that I cannot even go a day without talking to him. I'm always thinking about him. Long distance relationship can make you do and do a lot of things you never knew you would do it. The next point, which is the very last point I have to talk about, is that I never knew that I can talk to someone for a longer period of time every day and not get tired of that person for several months. Like, I never ever knew that is going to be possible. This is someone like, this is how Swavek does. Immediately he wakes up. Since he wakes up earlier than me, he drops a message for me. When I wake up, I drop a message for him, and either I call or he calls. We talk consistently, especially while he's working and maybe I'm at home preparing to go out. We are talking. While he's eating, we are talking. While he's at home, we are talking. While he's about to sleep, we are talking. While I'm outside, we are talking. While I'm at home, while I'm at the salon, we are talking. Even I'm on my way in a public transport, we are talking. Even in a busy area, we are talking. I never knew that I'll talk to someone for this long every day and not get tired and not get bored and not lack what to talk about. So yes, I didn't know that I have this hidden potential in me. that this is actually possible. So yeah, these are the few things I never knew is involved in a long distance relationship. If you have watched this video to this point, I want to say a very big thank you so much for watching, and remember to click on the subscribe button, turn on the post notification bell, and we will see you in our next video. Bye.